Good morning. It is so exciting to be gathered here in Pontiac, Michigan at the Oakland County Commission Chambers. I am delighted to host today's hearing as your subcommittee chair for research and technology, and I extend a warm welcome and thank you to my esteemed colleagues and our distinguished panel of witnesses. Certainly my colleague, Congresswoman Debbie Dingell, who has been a champion and a deal maker of the subject matter at hand, the electric vehicle workforce. I also want to extend my gratitude to the Oakland County Board of Commissioners. We are joined here today by Commissioner Gwen Markham, but the whole Board of Commissioners who has let us use their space, their convening space, and certainly want to also offer up my special appreciation to Oakland County Executive Dave Coulter and Oakland County Commissioner Chair David Woodward for their leadership, not only for our county, but again for the subject matter at hand, how we are going to win the future. We are here today to examine how to build a workforce to navigate the electric vehicle future. Michigan has been at the forefront, as we well know, of automotive innovation for generations. Not only did we put the world on wheels a century ago at the beginning of the 20th century, but an entire innovation ecosystem sprung up around transformative mobility. So let's be clear. Michigan has led the way. As the first state to complete a border-to-border interstate in 1960, the home to the first four-way electric traffic light installed not far from here in Detroit in 1918. The first highway materials testing lab in the nation was opened in Ann Arbor in 1912, and General Motors produced the first modern electric automobile in 1996. Now, our automotive companies, Ford, General Motors, Stellantis, along with a remarkable supply chain that surrounds us here today in Oakland County, Michigan, are leading the world in electric vehicle technology and the innovation ecosystems that are at the very backbone of the country's economy. As many of you know, chief among my priorities is to champion our manufacturing economy and its workforce in the halls of Congress. I've sought to understand challenges facing local manufacturers, keep my finger on the pulse of their needs through what I call Manufacturing Monday, my Manufacturing Monday visits. Every week I get the opportunity to see the very innovation in the electric vehicle space that is happening in our own backyard, from Allison Transmission's facility in Auburn Hills and Continentals to Intercell reshaping battery manufacturing technology in Troy to One Next Energy in Novi. Many of the guests before us here today paying witness to today's hearing, either virtually or in person here in the Oakland County Commission chambers. The opportunities, my friends, are right here. So not only has Southeast Michigan been at the forefront of industry, we have also had the enthusiasm for an electric vehicle future from local leaders hungry to become a part of the solution to a cleaner environment. Communities like Troy, Royal Oak, Berkeley, Canton, and Ferndale, we're joined here today by Ferndale's mayor, Melanie Piana, are taking great strides to be the early adopters needed to support the development and deployment of an electric vehicle infrastructure, all of which will be fueled by Michigan's workforce. Michigan remains the preeminent automotive manufacturing hub in our nation. Our discussion today will focus on a vital element of continuing this leadership, the workforce. Because let's be clear, we can develop the most cutting-edge battery technology in the world, but that innovation only translates into economic and environmental benefits through the work of talented men and women who make it happen on the factory floor and in our communities as they're setting up the infrastructure. Our panel today includes representatives from the Michigan Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity, as well as Macomb Community College, home of the Center for Advanced Automotive Technology and National Science Foundation-funded Advanced Technological Education Center. They are doing extraordinary work to prepare a workforce to power the electric vehicle future. Many auto workers have spent their entire career in the field and are experts in what they do. So I'm also very honored to have the United Auto Workers here to discuss paths that ensure the transition to electric vehicles that is good for the environment and good for workers. We can't say that enough. We cannot discount workers or see them cut out of the deal. We cannot see Michigan plants close at the expense of new and proliferating technology. Oh no, my friends, it will be exactly the opposite. It needs to be more work and better jobs, and something that can be led by our friends in labor. Manufacturing electric vehicles is just one element of an electric vehicle future. The Bipartisan Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, which I was proud to vote for and was signed into law just last November, provides $7.5 billion, $7.5 billion to develop the electric vehicle charging infrastructure with the goal of installing 500,000 public chargers nationwide by 2030. The communities I mentioned here in Oakland County are ripe and ready for that investment. Michigan will lead the way. To meet these goals, we'll need a highly trained workforce, though, capable of installing and maintaining these charging stations. Unfortunately, we may be faced with labor shortage of qualified electricians right here when we need them most, but we have heard from stakeholders throughout southeastern Michigan. We've heard from our friends in IBEW. 35% of this workforce is retirement ready and may leave in the next 5 to 7 years. So I'm excited to hear more about the gold standard for training electricians in the EV sector and the electric vehicle infrastructure training program. There is a story to tell coming out of southeastern Michigan that despite a pandemic and shutdowns and at times a stymied workforce because of COVID-19, we never stop, my friends. We never stop responding to PPE shortages or supply chain disruptions facing American consumers. In fact, while the auto industry sourced and produced PPE and ventilators, we continued innovating on the electric vehicle front and the products in demand around the world. Has it been easy with a semiconductor and chip shortage? Certainly not. Do we still need to tackle that issue? Absolutely we do. But today we are setting the stage from Oakland County. We will remember this hearing and the incredible words and recommendations of our witnesses. What we discover, inquire, and capture here today will not only be for memory, it will be etched in the congressional record as part of our ongoing legislative body of work. How will electric vehicles shape our workforce, and how will our workforce lead? So before I introduce our witnesses, I would like to ask for unanimous consent to enter into the record a letter of support from one of Michigan's 11 very own township supervisors, Canton Township Supervisor Anne Marie Graham Hudak, highlighting the importance of today's field hearing for local governments in Michigan. Her letter outlined the creative ways Canton is partnering with SEMCOG to apply for electric vehicle chargers funding for the bipartisan infrastructure bill and the workforce necessary to maintain and install chargers. So I'd like to thank Canton Township Supervisor Graham Hudak for submitting a letter and for her passion on this topic.